Shadow of Freedom. Written by Zoe Appleton. When rogue hacker Spark and battle-hardened soldier Jackson uncover a sinister global network called the Syndicate, they embark on a perilous quest for justice. But the web of darkness stretches farther than they imagined. From the streets of Prague to an abandoned airfield in Berlin, they pursue the leaders of the traffickers' operation, chasing every lead while evading the authorities. As Spark is entangled in the merciless grip of Orphan's digital labyrinth, and Jackson races against time to save her, the Syndicate's insidious reach tightens. Each step of Jackson's desperate mission reveals a new layer of the conspiracy, threatening to unravel everything they thought they knew. Amidst the chaos, Spark battles not only the artificial intelligence that seeks to break her spirit, but also the haunting memories of the explosion that tore them apart. In a world where trust is a fragile commodity and danger lurks in every shadow, their love becomes the beacon guiding them through the darkness. As the final confrontation with the Syndicate looms, secrets are unveiled, alliances are tested, and the line between ally and enemy blurs. Will Spark and Jackson emerge victorious, or will the Syndicate's sinister machinations extinguish the flame of their love forever? In this heart-pounding conclusion, the fate of not just Spark and Jackson, but countless others, hangs in the balance. The pulse of suspense crescendos, and the question echoes, can love truly conquer all, even in the face of a malevolent digital nemesis and a global network hell-bent on destruction? Brace yourself for a finale that will leave your heart racing and your soul yearning for more. The battle for justice and love reaches its climax, and only the resilient will emerge from the shadows victorious. Chapter 1. Jackson. Standing at the window, I allowed the last drops of whiskey to glide down my throat, the burning sensation offering a brief distraction from the pain inside. Gazing into the glass, I felt as empty and used as anyone ever had. Today would have been my daughter Jessica's 18th birthday, a day that should have been filled with joy and celebration. But instead, it served as a cruel reminder of the gaping hole in my heart. Jessica had been taken from me over a year ago, torn from her bed in the dead of night. I couldn't be there to protect her, couldn't stop it from happening. The guilt and helplessness gnawed at my soul every waking moment. My lovely wife, Gloria, was also nothing but a memory now. Taken from me that same night, her life brutally cut short. I could still see the image of her lifeless body, displayed in the most undignified manner, etched into my mind. The mere thought of it made my blood boil with a searing rage. Gazing into the glass, my reflection distorted from the etchings, I took the glass in my hand and hurled it against the wall with a fierce fury. The shattering sound echoed the broken pieces of my life. Falling to the ground, I, a strong ex-Navy SEAL, began to break down under the weight of my past. The pain, the loss, the relentless grief, it all came crashing down on me. Tears welled up in my eyes, and I couldn't hold back the torrent of emotions any longer. The Syndicate shall pay. I am coming for you. Just you wait, I muttered under my breath, my voice trembling with determination. The darkness inside me fueled a burning need for revenge, for justice, for closure. Curling up in a ball on my daughter's bed, her room untouched from the night of her abduction, I clung to the last traces of her presence. I longed for both the women in my life to return to me, but the cruel reality mocked my longing. As exhaustion enveloped me, I drifted into a restless slumber, haunted by memories of happier times and nightmares of that fateful night. The thought of Jessica's laughter and Gloria's warm embrace brought both comfort and pain. In my dreams, I vowed to find the people responsible for tearing my family apart, to bring them to their knees and make them pay for the torment they had inflicted. I knew it wouldn't be an easy road, but the fire burning inside me refused to be extinguished. With a newfound resolve, I woke from my slumber, wiping away the tears from my eyes. The pain was still there, but so was my determination to fight for justice and bring closure to the chapter of my life that had turned into a living nightmare. Jessica and Gloria were gone, but their memory would drive me forward. I would find my daughter, and I would make those responsible for her abduction and my wife's death pay dearly. The Syndicate would soon learn the wrath of a father's love and the unyielding fury of an ex-SEAL seeking redemption. After retiring from the Navy, it took me several years to adjust to civilian life. While in the Navy, I was heavily into communications, data recovery, and computer hacking. Of course, we didn't call it hacking in the military, we called it data retrieval. In my time, we discovered several dark organizations, factions, and shadow groups working against the U.S. government. It was my job to lead the teams that would break into their systems and monitor their movements and the money. Needless to say, I had made a lot of enemies over the years. My wife Gloria was not into computers or technology at all. She had come from a well-to-do family who had made their money the old-fashioned way, from oil and the hard work of others. Her family line can be traced all the way back to the early settlement days of the country. In fact, some of her family were prominent politicians and businessmen and women. She had a relative that helped establish the stock exchange, where another relative was on a team to develop the Ford Model A. When we got married, her family was divided as to her choice in me. Some were for it, a strong protector, a man of the people out to protect and serve. Others were against it. They didn't believe in technology and the internet. They felt that it took away something. Armchair bloggers and social media influencers making videos, jumping around like complete morons, making millions of dollars. They felt if a man couldn't get their hands dirty or at least control someone who would get them dirty, that the money they made was poorly earned, no matter how many zeros were in the number. When her father died, she came into a massive sum of money, almost $2.5 billion. She was also an only child, so of course she was Daddy's little girl, which made her death even that more shocking to the family. Those surviving members of her family totally cut me off from everything. They even tried to petition the courts to take whatever liquid assets I had and put them into a trust for Jessica if she were to ever return. If she was lost to us forever, then the funds would be put into a scholarship in her name. The way that this was prevented was that Gloria and I had started a cybersecurity company. Since most of the money was locked into that business, the courts had no say as to how the money was spent or allocated. This turned her family against me even more, and I have been shunned. Alone and broken, I had turned to drinking to ease my nightmares. The night that Gloria was murdered and Jessica abducted, I was 200 miles away at a conference. Gloria was going to attend with me. However, she was suffering from a bout of COVID. I told her that I would stay with her, nurse her back to health, but she insisted that I go. She simply wanted to sleep, and since Jessica was there studying for her senior exams, there was no need. The nightmare, however, didn't end there. As I was at the conference, preparing to give my final speech, I had called to check on her. Her voice was tired and weak, but happy to hear my voice. She had just taken her medicine and was preparing to turn in for the night when all hell broke loose. From the other side of the phone, I could hear the sound of glass breaking, men shouting, and unspeakable cries for help. The only thing I could do was listen as masked men broke into my house. Gloria, frantic, tried to get out of bed, rushed to our daughter's aid, but her body was too weak. I could hear their cries, my daughter being dragged off kicking and screaming, calling my name, begging me for help. The only thing I could do was curse at the top of my lungs, onlookers gathering around me, their faces white with confusion. Then, the unspeakable. The men breaking into my bedroom, ripping the phone from my wife's hands. Silence quickly filled the room as I could hear the breathing of one of the intruders on the other end. From a muffled voice, they stated my name.
Jackson, this is payback. The Syndicate doesn't take kindly to your actions. Pay attention to this message.
With that, I could hear the phone being placed on the nightstand and the screams coming from my wife. She begged, cried, and pleaded for her life. For the next 20 minutes, they savagely raped and beat her, then stabbed her until the very life from her body drained away. All I could do was stand there, motionless as my family was taken from me. When it was all over, the man came back onto the line, winded. The monster didn't even say a word, merely listened in the hopes of hearing my agony and cries. To his disappointment, I didn't give him that satisfaction. A moment later, the line went dead. Falling to the ground, I totally lost control. Everything that I had loved, everything that I had worked for, was gone. The only thing left was revenge. A burning deep within me that would make them pay. I was also on a mission to find and save my daughter. Time was of the essence, and what I did next would mean life or death. Shadow of Innocence, written by Zoe Appleton. First and foremost, let me express my deepest gratitude for embarking on the journey within the pages of my novel. Your precious time and attention mean the world to me, and I sincerely hope the story has woven its magic into your heart. If you found yourself captivated by the characters, immersed in the unfolding plot, or swept away by the emotions that dance through the narrative, I would be honored if you could take a moment to share your thoughts. Your honest review is not only a testament to the connection we've forged through this tale, but also a guiding light for future readers seeking their next literary adventure. Your words hold immense power. They fuel my passion to continue crafting stories that resonate with your soul. If my novel brought a smile to your face, a tear to your eye, or a flutter to your heart, please consider leaving a review. Your insights are invaluable, and they contribute to the tapestry of feedback that shapes the path of my storytelling. Thank you, from the depths of my writer's heart, for being a part of this literary journey. Your support inspires me to weave more tales, and I can't wait to embark on the next adventure together. With sincerest appreciation, Zoe Appleton. Make sure to check out my other books and series. You can find everything at zoeappletonwriter.com.